So if you have any questions at all about this industry, stay tuned and I promise I'll give you some answers. As a reminder, if you have a direct question for me, please use @Mateo311 down in the chat when asking. And if you want to help support this channel, go click the thumbs up right now. Now the stream will be starting soon, but in the meantime, enjoy the montage. Hello everybody and welcome back. The live stream is about to begin momentarily, and soon I'll start answering all of your questions about VR. I've had my VR YouTube channel up for over 5 years now, and for the past 2, VR has become my full-time gig. I'm experiencing new virtual reality games every single day, and I of course love checking out the latest hardware. So if you have any questions at all about this industry, stay tuned and I promise I'll give you some answers. As a reminder, if you have a direct question for me, please use @Mateo311 down in the chat when asking. And if you want to help support this channel, go click the thumbs up right now. Now the stream will be starting soon, but in the meantime, enjoy the montage. Hello everybody and welcome back. The live stream is about to begin momentarily, and soon I'll start answering all of your questions about VR. I've had my VR YouTube channel up for over 5 years now, and for the past 2, VR has become my full-time gig. I'm experiencing new virtual reality games every single day, and I of course love checking out the latest hardware. So if you have any questions at all about this industry, stay tuned and I promise I'll give you some answers. As a reminder, if you have a direct question for me, please use @Mateo311 down in the chat when asking. And if you want to help support this channel, go click the thumbs up right now. Now the stream will be starting soon, but in the meantime, enjoy the montage. Yo. What's up everybody? Trevor, you know something? That is an absolutely great question to start the stream off with. But that's something that was on my mind. I should keep it in my notes because I wanted to do an old school game video because there's still some awesome shit out there that like people have never tried, like Defector. And if you compare a lot of those older games to what comes out now, for multiple different reasons, they're better in certain aspects. They're not always better across the board, but a lot of times they're, better in certain aspects. Like there wasn't a centralized control scheme and stuff like that, but whatever, we're getting, I didn't even say hello. We're getting right into it. So let's chill. Let's say hello to the chat. Thank you guys for being here so early. A couple people, Mark popping. He's always popping right in. See what I did there? God, I'm a geek. VR Ready, what's up, man? Trevor, Arlen, Radical. That's a new name. Calling me out for screwing up my description. Thank you, bro. Kill Delta, what's up for being here? And MC Kluski? That's a new name too. All right, we'll get into all of it. Cell, what's up, man? What's going on? Cop Dog, hello. Hello, everybody. Digital Therapy, Fate. Oh, whoa, all the people are popping in now. Raven, Revered Jesus. Jesus, I'm here for the Deckard. I got one under my desk. I got 5 of them. We're giving away 50 today. I wish. I work with a talent agency, if you guys don't know. I started working with them probably like 6 months ago or so. Shout out to Noetic Talent Agency. It's been going really good. And I've been nagging my manager. I'm like, yo, inside track, Valve Index. Pull any string you have to. Do whatever you got to do. And yeah. So I'm smuggling them in early. Screw the tariffs. Greeting from Canada. It's a boot time Canada got here. You older here and stuff like that. All right. So, guys, a lot to discuss today. I actually wrote down some notes. I got some notes. We'll do some speculation. We'll talk about the leaks. We'll talk about confirmed stuff. But before any of that, I have new internet. And the speeds are fantastic. Tested it right before today's stream. My ping was 5 milliseconds. My jitter was 0. I have not dropped a single frame yet. And right now, this is a new setup, so I guess my settings aren't dialed in, but let's see. Streaming, yeah, my bitrate's low. I'm gonna just crank it up a little bit, just for the quality. Boom. So I look as handsome as possible for you guys. I just cranked it up a little bit. I should look a little bit more handsome now. Do I look more handsome? Let me know. Yay for good internet. We haven't dropped a single frame, a single packet, a single nothing. Usually I drop a couple off the bat. And another thing I used to see, when I would hit start streaming, it would be like a minute before I went live on YouTube. And today, the second I hit start, boom. So today we have 5 gigabit fiber. That's 5 up, 5 down, and 5 all around. I'm very happy. I'm rarely seeing 5 gigabits. Most I've seen is like 3.6, but I'll take it. Oh yeah, we got a high-end system, man. We got a high-end system. This is a 9800 X3D rocking a 4090. I had a 5090 ordered, and my order got canceled the day I was supposed to receive it. And then I messaged company like, what the hell's going on? And they kind of, I'm not going to say who, but they kind of loosely implied that some of their stock went missing. Shit happens. Yep, 5 is crazy. I'm not saying the store. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying the store. So, as always, if you guys are new here, you just drop the @Mateo311 if you have a direct question for me. Any feedback you guys ever have, like the setup is a little bit different than it used to be. What's the microphone I'm using? This is a Shure SM7B attached to a Go XLR. I'm glad it sounds good. My voice is actually a little shot. I've been on and off with a cold. My kid woke up this morning like, my throat. Well, a few days ago, my other kid had a stomach bug. And then I got a haircut yesterday. And I see the lady who cuts my hair. And she's like, before I got to her. And then I look at her face and she's pale as fuck. And I'm like, oh, great. And she's like, yeah, I just got over the flu. And I'm like, when? And she's like, 3 days ago. And I'm like, I'm getting the flu now. Fuck. Anyway, that's my life. All right. So, yeah. Why does the camera move slowly all the time? Look. It's a tracking camera. It's a tracking camera because I also use it when I'm playing games. And you know how easy it is to like kind of like walk at a frame. So, but you know. So, you know, it's really easy for you to walk out of frame without the tracking camera. So it's just helped me for recording some VR stuff. Which tracking camera? This is the OBSBot. Again, guys, when the chat gets a little, I'm going to move the chat closer to me. My screen is so freaking big. It's the OBSBot Tiny 2. And I do recommend it. I really like it. It gives unfortunately, I got to shut off my auto tracking. That's when you see the it does that because I'm a hand talker, and sometimes I accidentally trigger this. Like sometimes I do that. Oh! Okay. Sometimes that because I have that setting on, but really I should turn off the auto tracking and I should turn off the hand drives while I'm actually here. But then I forget to turn it on and off. When I walk over there, if auto tracking is not on, I'm going to go out of focus. So then I'm going to film my VR games and I'm going to be out of focus the whole shot. So I don't want to do that. So I leave the auto tracking on and it's occasionally annoying. But I should remember to turn it on and off. All right. Okay. So, and then normally there's a camera right there that shows, oh, damn you. Anyway, you could see it better. There's a camera right where my finger is pointing. And that camera would give you a better angle of my setup. But it's not connected right now. That wire goes through the wall, out the back, into my computer. And since it's such a long run, unless I add extra power into the line, it doesn't work. So I have an extra USB card, which is a powered USB card. Well, it's a PCI USB. It seems like the only one that's ever worked with that camera. I'm just too lazy to open up my computer right now. I'm too freaking lazy. I'm waiting for my 5090 to come, and then I will put the 5090 in, and I will put in the PCI USB adapter so I could plug that camera in, and then you guys could get a cool shot of my room. But I did add that. Wait, first, let me change my mic so I can walk over there and talk to you guys. And then we're going to get into the VR stuff, I promise. So get your questions ready. We'll talk Deckard. We'll talk everything. But if you guys have never been here before, this is kind of like a bullshitty stream. I just sit here and I kind of answer your questions. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just micing up right now. I'm micing up right now because I'm going to walk across the room and you guys are going to come with me. Ooh, baby. Little nipple slip. Let's try this again. And this goes in here, and this goes here. All right, no nipple slips. And then this bad boy turns on. This bad boy turns on. I don't turn it on before because I'm like, I'm never going to use this thing. And I don't want it. This is actually, so this right here is an adapter that could go to your phone. And it could also do, it could plug right into my Go XLR, which I just did. So I should be coming through 2 mics right now, which is probably annoying. I cut this mic. I'm only on this mic. We're going to go for a walk. All right, let's go for a little walk. There's the table cam. And you guys can still, yep, you guys can still hear me. You should be able to hear me. I can't see what you guys are looking at because I'm all the way over there. But hopefully you still hear me. Hopefully this is working. This is where I play D&D. Projector comes down here, projects the game board. The DM sits over there. He's got his own computer set up so he can control this, see what he's doing. We usually play with D&D Beyond. This is my new, my kid's been getting a kick out of this. This actually works with VR, but I said, you know what? I want to play with 2 people. I want the old school feel. So this is my X Arcade. I have this all set up. This works. But I also have everything else hooked up to it, like a PlayStation controller and Xbox controllers just in case. So yeah, this is the fun zone. Let's come back. I'm coming. All right. Now, sorry about the double. The double. I'll shut this off. Now, did that work? Or did you guys not hear me when I walked away? Did that work? Did you use MAME? Yeah, I use MAME and Steam. So like I have all the good, the really cool, like all the fun type of old school style games. Like Castle Crashers is there, and I got the joystick to work with everything. There's a little app that you could use for the joystick to make it run. The computer thinks it's an Xbox controller. It's not ideal for everything because, you know, like modern games use the bumpers and stuff, and that thing has like 8 physical buttons. So it's not ideal for every game, but for some games, like I have the Gauntlet remake, which is really good. It works for a bunch of stuff. So that's the hookup. And I just started playing that with my kiddo. So she's been like, Dad, I want to do the arcade. So there's an app called Arcade Ranger that works really, really well for it. But that's for VR if you want to use the controls in VR. But it's one person. So that's not going to work. I'm a family man. All right, mic worked the whole time. Things are looking good. Chris is hitting on me like normal. Thank you, Chris. The nipple slip is on. Yeah, that's on my OnlyFans page. Even though my nipples a little cold down here, my nipples are showing. Cool. Heard just fine. All right. I didn't screw anything up yet. Haven't dropped a packet. Haven't dropped a frame. The multiple cameras work. The mic works. Holy shit. This is a miracle. And we're going to talk about the Deckard. What are we talking about first, guys? Here's my list. Well, this one is easy. This one we get right off the list. The multiplayer VR game Mannequin from Flash Travel Games is now free to play. If you haven't played it, I recommend you go check it out. Cold Fusion, howdy partner. What's going on, man? I highly recommend you check it out. It's free to play right now. I'm pretty sure, it's on Steam and Quest, and it's an asymmetrical kind of like hide and seek. It's almost like Prop Hunt meets a horror game. You get to play these alien creatures that can turn into mannequins. So you could just like turn yourself into a mannequin and hide. And the alien creatures, anytime they touch a human, they freeze the human. So you could freeze a human and then like turn into a frozen human. And people just think it's 2 more random other humans. And then there's agents with like different gadgets trying to hunt you down. So it becomes this really cool back and forth. And there's different game modes. I highly recommend you check it out. So that's number 1 on my list that I want to talk about. Grabbed the game this morning. Good to hear. Connection is more than stable. I'm looking at it, man. I'm looking at it. Screw Xfinity. Screw them. I'm now paying less money. I'm paying $120 less. I'm getting 5 gigabit up and down. I'm getting more TV channels. It's a billion times more stable, and life is effing good. I should have made the change like a year ago. My friend was like, change. I'm like, everything's just stable. I'm happy here. I don't feel like redoing everything. Well, screw them. All right. We still got time to screw up. That's what I like to do. It's still $9.99 on Steam. That sucks. I know right now it's free on Quest. It would be messed up if they don't make it free to play on Steam, but we'll see. All right. GeForce, what's up, man? How long did it take you to get to use Cat VR? How long did it take you to get used to it? I never really got used to it. Like Cat VR kind of wasn't for me. I'm thinking about bringing it down here because I've been doing I'm getting into a lot more Skyrim and Fallout for VR. It's so funny. I was talking to Genghis VR, who I talk to pretty often. We've been playing Baldur's Gate together lately. And, I said, hey, remind me again, how do I fix the update that broke Fallout 4 when they did the special edition or whatever the hell they did? I just said, remind me again how to fix that. And she sent me a 25-page document that she wrote about modding Fallout. And I'm like, give me a break. She's like, it's so easy. It takes 10 minutes. I'm like, I can't read this in 10 minutes. So, yeah. But I'm working on a Skyrim and Fallout 4 VR mod project. I did a couple videos that were like just getting into it lightly, but I'm working on a project. I'm putting my developer hat back on, which I haven't worn in a couple of years. That's my background. I went to school for information technology. I worked in IT for 20 years, and now I do this nonsense. But I'm working on a project. We'll see if it ever gets off the ground running. Okay. Alien Quest 3 update dropped, 5 gigabytes. I got to check that out. That's a pretty massive update. Quest 3, they probably updated. That's usually textures. When you see like a big update like that, it's usually textures because they're not adding additional content level stuff like that. So it's going to be textures. So it's a Quest 3 specific update. That's nice to see. The game was kind of ugly, and it had some like lighting issues and performance issues. What provider do I use now? I use, brought to you by Frontier Fiber. All right. Yes, my OnlyFans videos are going to be a lot more stable now. Yes, you get to see me in full HD shaking my butt. Guys, for the new people here, OnlyFans is not a thing. It's just an ongoing joke. All right. Let's jump into a topic that is actually even. You guys want to go right to the index? What do you want to talk about? Or if you guys want to just throw questions at me, that's fine. I'm thinking to become a content creator in AR VR, like tech news and gameplay, make videos on own project. What do you think? Any suggestions? I get this question pretty often. And so just expect to fail in the beginning, expect to like screw up, expect to not be very good or get, many views. There is a very high importance, almost a disgusting amount of importance on your title and also your thumbnail. These are your two ways to kind of, everyone's going to yell clickbait and stuff like that. But the idea is to intrigue, but not mislead. That's at least, my viewpoint on how I make a thumbnail. I want to make something that's intriguing, but doesn't mislead. So you don't want to Half-Life Alyx sucks. No, if I'm going to talk about it being good. So obviously you don't do nonsense like that. So that's the goal there. And it's a game you kind of have to play. It sucks. I try to play it as minimally as possible, but it does make a significant difference getting your foot in the door, like type of thing. After that, just like kind of rewatch your content. If you find your own content hard to watch and boring, then no one else, if you can't watch your own content, no one else is going to. So that's another major aspect. And then find your niche. Find, at least these are my approaches. So this isn't gospel. I could be way off. But my approach is I'm always trying to make content that I enjoy making and people enjoy watching. And I'm trying to find the perfect middle ground. Like some content I make is like work. And it's like, I got to make this big giant video. And it's not that fun. But for the most part, I enjoy making the content. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, talking about stuff together. And it seems like you guys enjoy it. We're on the road to 100K, man. It's right around the corner. So I'm excited for that. All right. Have you tried Avowed? I downloaded it because I got Game Pass. And everyone said it sucked. And I watched the player base in like 2 weeks go down to like 8,000, which is horrendous for a new game. And everything that releases on Game Pass kind of sucks lately. So I deleted it. I downloaded 80 gigs and then deleted it like 3 days later. I never tried it. Maybe I'll download it again. With some components still rising in price, do you think that Meta can still release a sub $500 headset in the near future? Yes. However, the world is upside down right now. I'm not going to get into politics, but the world is effing upside down. Like, that's down. This is up. I don't know what is going on anymore. Just to give you an example, real life personal example, you see all the equipment down here. There's also more equipment in this closet. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I have a server rack in that closet. I am pushing the limits of the electricity down here. In fact, if I turn a game on right now, these lights will start flickering. So I'm pushing the limits of my electricity down here. And I had an electrician come in, and he said everything he needs to do, and he priced it out, and he said it's going to be $900. And he's like, but I got to be honest with you, prices are really in flux right now. That's with my current spreadsheet of materials. He's like, it's been changing every week. Give me a few days. Let me get back to you. He came back to me a few days later, $1,800. That's double the effing price. And I said, man, what happened? And he's like, I swear, I'm not trying to hose you. Prices went up. Everything's crazy. And I'm like, F this, man. So I just turn off the lights when I play video games right now. I'm not kidding you. I go, Alexa, turn off the lights. Holy shit, she just whispered. That was freaky. Alexa, stop that. Alexa, turn off the basement lights. I don't know what she did, but I am freaked out. She started whispering shit. Dude, I need to go. Yeah, something went wrong. You're a freak. I'm not trusting anything anymore. One more time. Alexa, turn off the basement lights. There she goes. I don't know what she thought I said. I don't know what's going on. Alexa, turn on the basement lights. Little strobe there. Yeah. So Jesus Christ. That was freaky. Yeah, tariff, something. All right. Oh, yes, Trevor, we are getting... So April is when I'll release 9 years of VR games ranked. One of the times you can show your D&D board working. So Mark Poppin, head over to my Instagram page. You got to go back a little bit in time, but you'll see it. You'll see it up and running. I'm not going to go over and turn it on now. Dude, that was God, I'm still a little... When she thinks she whispered, she whispers back, but I don't know what she was saying, man. It sounded creepy as hell. What's up, Bridger? What's going on, brother? All right. Yes, we do have poor electricity in general, and not gonna lie, our infrastructure needs a little work. All right. Again, guys, if you have a direct question for me, use @Mateo311. The chat isn't too fast right now, but it's it's still a little hard for me to keep up. Anyway, let's get into a couple other updates before we talk Deckard stuff. Did you guys hear that Gorn 2 has been announced? I mean, Gorn 1, slapstick, arena fighter, but it's like epic. It's a classic, and it was so fun on like multiple different levels, and I think they could do a lot of cool stuff with Gorn 2. So, not much to say there. I'll talk about it in an upcoming video. But Gorn looks fun. It looks like, more brutal, better graphics. You can't ask for much more. I know a lot of times we're just looking for more serious content in VR. She whispers sweet nothings into my ear. Thanks for the donation, dude. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And if I didn't say thank you previously to GeForce Guy, thank you. You're always donated. I don't get why people donate to me. I'm just a dude on the internet talking about stuff I enjoy, trying to educate us and bring us all along for the ride. But you're also probably getting a little bit dumber hanging out with me. Like you get educated about VR, but I also make you a little bit dumber at the same time. But they say people who are dumb are happier. So, all right, cool. Let's all smile together. All right. I did a video today about All On Board. So that's a board game sim. That's pretty badass. If you guys are into board games, especially if you play any of the games on this list, which is Istanbul, GT Rally, The Hunger, Escape the Dark Castle, The Binding of Isaac, Four Souls, and I'm missing one. I need help. What am I missing? Terraforming Mars. If you're familiar with any of those 4 games, or, they got the classics like chess and checkers, Parcheesi in there. If you like any of those board games, if you're a board game person, go check out All on Board. It's really cool. It's really well done. Just don't expect it to go in there and have it like teach you through the game. It is a sim. It expects you to kind of know. I'm sure there's going to be people in the community that like teaching people, to each their own. There's also probably a couple jerks out there, but regardless, if you're into board games, I would highly recommend it. It's really cool. All right. 1,200 is too much. That is something we will get into. The big news is Wanderer Fragments of Faith is being released on March 27th. I've kind of been sitting on that date, been wanting so now I can finally talk about it. I have a video coming out either tomorrow or Saturday that's going to tell us all the games that are coming out in March. And there's a lot. There's a lot, actually. A couple bangers, couple surprises. The VR showcase has some surprises coming our way. I'll have a recap video of it ready, but obviously I can't talk about anything beforehand, but there's some surprises coming our way. Now everyone's thinking, oh, GTA. No. Well, even if it was, I wouldn't tell you. But yeah, there's some surprises coming the way. I know Flat the VR Studios is ready to show off some stuff, and I think they're going to have a pretty good year, so we'll see what happens there. But Wanderer, I'm pumped for. I'm definitely doing coverage on Wanderer. And let's talk Deckard Leaks. Let's get there. The naysayers say they're fake. Listen, it's been the same story forever. So when I heard this news, I said, "Oh yeah, I know." I mean, every inside source, we're breaking news here. Every inside source, every person I've spoken to is said, the same thing forever, going back the last 3 years. And Valve has repeatedly confirmed they are working on a headset. Repeatedly. You go 2020, 2021, 2022, they've made comments, we're working on another headset. And like I said previously, I think the Steam Deck, and they even confirmed this, was a stepping stone in that. They said the technology they're utilizing there is going to help their next VR headset. And that's exactly what I said. I think they're aiming to make an upgraded Steam Deck that's pretty much attaches to your head. We've seen the leaked controllers. They have a layout that's much more standard to flat screen gaming. It's almost as if I crack this down the middle, put one in my right hand, one in my left hand. So you get a much more traditional controller layout. So you can play all of your flat screen games, just like the Steam Deck has. So it's going to have controllers like that. They'll be fine for VR. They'll be fine for flat screen gaming. They'll probably be ideal for both. So you get that layout that you're used to. And all they're really doing is, kind of moving the Steam Deck to your head. The good thing here is the Steam Deck is 3 years old and it's still pretty badass. I've been playing Path of Exile on it occasionally. If I'm tired or I'm laying in bed, I'll play it on there a little bit. So it still holds up to modern games. Yeah, I would love a lot more horsepower, but it's been 3 years. There's more horsepower available. So if you look at the Zen 4 architecture, they could easily bang out something that's 4 times more powerful than the Quest 3. I'm being generous here. Well, maybe I'm not even being generous. I'm being very realistic. Is VR dead again this week? No, it's that was last week. This week, VR is amazing. And then next week, we're going to say it's dead again. God, it's every year with that nonsense. Will I be playing Midnight Walk? I definitely want to get into Midnight Walk. That looks creepy and cool as hell. So, but I mean, we're speculating on the specs of the headset besides the controllers. Controllers are pretty much confirmed. The Roy controllers. But honestly, it's going to be a really good app. People bought the Steam Deck. It looks like 4 million were sold, which isn't an insane number. We're not dealing with console numbers or Nintendo Switch numbers, obviously. But for a third-party non-hardware manufacturer, Valve, to bang out a bunch of PC devices like that and sell 4 million of them, that's pretty solid. That's actually rather impressive. Now, if you take something like, and that's more than we see for like PlayStation VR2s and stuff like that. So that's solid numbers, especially for the VR community. If it's supposedly going to be running Steam OS, we're expecting it'll run x86 architecture, VR games. I think, they're going to have to do some upgrades for optimization and stuff like that. But could you imagine, you have a device that would be that can play Half-Life Alyx? And I think that can definitely happen because Half-Life Alyx runs on a 2060. So a standalone device that runs Half-Life Alyx that can also play all of your flat games and also stream from your PC for an extra boost. It also, it for me personally, it's an ideal device, but I know 1200 is insane for a lot of people. But we just got way too accustomed to Meta subsidizing. Meta is at one point was a $1 trillion company. Depends on their stock. I'm sure they're not there right now, but $400 billion company, $500 billion company, they can afford to spend a couple million subsidizing these headsets. And Valve even says they're, selling these at a loss at 1200, or that's what I'm not saying Valve, but that's what the leaks say. So yeah, that would be some badass hardware in there. And the VALVE Deckard was always one of my favorite headsets for the longest time until it just aged out. It had 2017 hardware in it. So, all right, let me catch up on the chat here. Do you think the Deckard would be overambitious with the features crammed into the headset? What do you think would be the sacrifices they'd make for the headset? I don't think it's going to be overambitious because I feel like Valve, I mean, every once in a while, they'll go out on a limb, like, let's say something like the controllers, which I think the controllers were awesome, but not enough added value. Like the controllers will, I personally love the Knuckles, but I think they dropped that name and just went Valve Index controllers eventually. But so I personally love those controllers, but I don't think they added enough value. I think here they'll do the, eye track 12v8 in rendering. So that's going to be for performance. I don't think that's going to be, over ambitious. I think based on the form factor of the Index, they know how to make a comfortable, like maybe not all day headset, but probably a, badass, very comfortable headset. The Index was still, even though it was really heavy, it's still one of the most comfortable headsets I've ever worn. Let's see. KC Chiefs. Let's see what he said. Holy crap. 3 VR channels I'm subscribed to with overlapping live streams. Oh, who else is streaming? God damn them. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, just pick one. I won't be offended. Let's see. Will Deckard work with AMD? I saw the Megan X doesn't. I'm sure it will. I would bet my left testicle, that's my least favorite one, and it will. I can't see it now. I heard Valve will switch from LCD to OLED. If they're going to go OLED, I hope they go, micro OLED, and it would have to be a panel that doesn't have high persistence. That's a non-high persistence panel, because that drives me nuts more than anything on the PlayStation VR 2. And that was an issue with the big screen beyond. Like I put on the big screen beyond and I'm like, holy crap, this screen is so dim. And then you turn up the brightness and it is a ghosting, like nausea inducing mess. So that's the issue with OLED. So I've never been the biggest OLED fan, especially for VR. Hey bud, you know what issue I'm seeing right now is big titles being messed up by the updates everywhere. That shit happens all the time. Contractor shut down PCVR is bricked by a Windows update. And now No Man's Sky with the event. Yeah, and you know what? Windows screwed me recently too. When I put this new machine together, 9800 X3D, it's still using my 4090 because my 5090, like I said earlier, didn't come. But I went back to Path of Exile 2, which I'm playing, which I really enjoyed. Usually not my style, not my type of game, but I fell in love with it. And the game kept locking up my system during loading screens. I'm like, what the fuck? And I checked every ounce of stability on this machine. Everything's fine. So I obviously Googled and and tons of people having the issue, and it was a Windows update. So Windows was allowing the game to take 100% control of the CPUs. Like max the CPUs beyond what they should go to, and it would make the background Windows processes unstable. And that's what would happen. And I'm like, are you effing kidding me? So for like a month, every time I was going to go load back into the main camp, I would have to go to the settings, turn off multi-threading so that the game's running on one CPU, load the camp, and then turn multi-threading back on. It was an effing nightmare. So thanks, Windows. But that's kind of like, you know, PCVR. Dirt Naps. What APU? We can only speculate. But based on the history with Valve, they would most likely go AMD for their device. I'm expecting the Zen 4 architecture. Basically, look at what the most powerful gaming handhelds right now have. Look at that and figure it'll be something around that. Maybe a little bit higher end. But also kind of underclocked. Because remember, we got to manage battery and heat. So I can't say, it's all speculation, but that's what we'd expect. Setting it to full screen did not fix the problem for me. So yay. I tried full screen. I tried windowed. I tried windowed full screen. I tried the only thing that consistently fixed that was the multi-rendering, the multi-threading. Yeah, so it's a crapshoot sometimes. What's up, party people? What's going on, Zell? A lot of new names in here. What's going on, people? What's going on? Let's see. PCVR without Windows bloatware is ideal. Yes, I mean that's one thing you'll get from a standalone device. But it's also not even Windows. They're going to run SteamOS. Just like the Steam Deck does. They said the Steam Deck was a stepping stone in their next VR headset. So it's going to run SteamOS. And if this was 10 years ago, I'd go, oh God, no. But if you've tried SteamOS, if you've tried the Steam Deck, it's solid now. Yeah, Trevor, you're right, man. How dare people stream while I'm streaming? But what's going on with you guys? Let's drop some questions. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys wondering about? What do you guys want me to talk about? Let's go. Shoot. Go. Faster. Don't tell me what to do. Remember the old Tiger handheld games. If not Google it. Fellow 40 pluses. Tiger handheld. That sounds familiar. I'm going to Google it. Let's Google it. Tiger handheld. Tiger. And I'm actually, you know what? I'll put it on screen too, but I got to move my chat so I can actually see. All right, let me move my chat over. Tiger handhelds. We'll put stuff on screen in a second because I'm slick like that. Tiger handheld games. Oh, I do remember those. Jesus. All right, boom. These guys, they were so terrible. They were all, they were just black pixels. They were, and it was like, like you could actually see, like, you know, modern games were like, what are they? How many frames per second? 120? Are they 100? I can't play anything under 120. These were like 1 frame per second. Half the time you'd see like the character and only his like arm would move. It'd be like, like my sound effects. I'm nailing it right now. Yeah, that shit was some old school stuff, man. Do I think the Deckard will have a puck? So, all right, the Deckard speculations is that it'll be $1,200. The puck, I don't know, man. Like, maybe because if you're using Zen 4 architecture, well, you use it in a gaming handheld, but then again, the Steam Deck is pretty hefty. I mean, it's going to have to be either a battery on the back of the head or a puck. I just don't think they want to go the puck direction. I can't see that. Will you make an in-depth video showcasing the differences in Alien Incursion update Quest 3? Nah, probably not, man. So like I said, I enjoy making content that I think people want to see and I enjoy making. If it was like, I don't know. I think I'm done with Alien Rogue Incursion right now. I just don't feel like going back to it. Sometimes I don't like backtracking unless it's something I love. So, what's your opinion on after many delays, Wanderer remake? Okay, yeah, we could do this. So I've been sitting on that date, the March 27th date. I've been sitting on that date for a little while. Obviously couldn't mention it. They got to make their official announcement. So I think just all the multiple delays was they want to make sure it runs right on each platform. And they're releasing on Steam. They're releasing on, PlayStation VR 2. And they're releasing on Quest 2 and 3. And again, if they release on Quest 3 and it doesn't have Quest 3 updates, people's head explode. So I think it's almost like they're releasing on 4 separate platforms. Well, not almost. It's like they are releasing on 4 separate platforms, basically. And they want to make sure it works. And it's a pretty lengthy game. Like, there's a lot of features. It's high fidelity. There's a ton of content. So QA is rough. So they probably, came across a bunch of serious issues or just a bunch of headaches and had to nail them down. I think it's going to be a great game. I really hope Deckard is sub 200 grams. No, there's zero chance. I will a standalone headset being sub 200 grams. It's not happening, man. I mean, that's crazy. That would be, I cannot, I mean, maybe I'm drunk, but I don't know. I mean, I would still go back to Batman. I still go back to games to play them, just not make content, Just sometimes I'm not in the mood. What way is Valve going with the controllers because tracking on the Quest is bad? Stefan, I don't think tracking on the Quest is bad. I mean, no one else who has a standalone headset has better tracking. I don't think their tracking is bad at all. I mean, a long time ago, base station tracking, and my base stations are still up. You could see, well, you can't see them. And one's right around this corner. You could kind of see the edge of it. So, I mean, base station tracking was significantly better than like the Quest 1. But if you pick up like an HTC headset or even a Pico, the tracking is not on par with Quest. Quest tracking got really, really good. I don't know where the complaint there is. But they're doing inside out tracking. So it's going to be right around, hopefully, the same as Quest. Are we expecting Valve Deckard news today? No, there was some leaks regarding the Valve Deckard for those not in the know. And just to recap those, $1,200 price tag, lots of bells and whistles like eye tracking, higher-end specs, it's fully standalone, Steam OS, running Steam OS, should run x86 architecture games, yada yada. And it'll be ideal for playing flat screen games too. So it'll run all your flat screen games. So think Steam Deck on your face. Thanks for bringing up Defector recently. I've never heard of it. Oh, it's great. Defector's great. Yeah, I mention all the old ones every once in a while. And like someone said at the very beginning of the stream, to do a video on it. And I was actually thinking about that. Okay. What will be Valve's new frunk? I know the frunk was kind of like the waste. That the only thing people ever put in the frunk was either a screen or a fan. So let's see. This is something I want to talk about. What about the D&D plus Demio? Have you talked about it already? Let's discuss that right now. They actually dropped the video right before this live stream. They dropped the video, and maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll play it, and we can chill together. Hold on one sec. I'll have to put on my headphones though, because otherwise we'll get feedback. Resolution Games. So for those of you who are not familiar, Resolution Games makes Demio, and Demio is it's an awesome tabletop. I saw the video today. Maybe it's not on their YouTube page yet, but maybe they just posted it on something else. They check Twitter and stuff like that. Or maybe they have a separate page for Battlemarked. I don't think so. Resolution Games. Let's see. But I watched the whole video, so if I can't find it, I can just talk about it. Yeah. I'm just gonna talk about it because I'm instantly too lazy. Okay. Demio is a tabletop game that's a little bit closer to like a roguelite than an actual RPG. There's 6 different characters and it's playable with up to 4 people. You pick your character. They have all different skills. You get cards in your hand and you use them to do special attacks and stuff. And Demio always plays out the same. There's 3 levels. You know, a level that you got to get past enemies and get to the exit. A level you got to get past enemies, get to the exit. And then a level where there's a boss fight. And Demio's fantastic. I absolutely love it. But, you know, everyone was calling it D&D and VR, and it's not. And like, I talked to them 2-3 years ago about Demio, and I was like, you really got to lean into the RPG aspect. You really got to make it more like a D&D game. And they're like, we know. And then like I was talking to one of their game developers, and obviously their PR managers like, shut your mouth, stop talking. But yeah, they made this collaboration with D&D and they're licensing D&D stuff. So based on today's video, they gave us a lot more information. We're going to be getting characters and classes and spells from the D&D game. There's no DM toolkit, so it's not like someone can make a setup and a board and build their own adventure. But they're going to have a single player or multiplayer campaign. And they said it's going to be a lot more story driven, a lot more like an actual D&D experience. So I'm expecting, and this is where I'm speculating, but I'm expecting traps, I'm expecting storyline and kind of cutscenes, and not, obviously it won't be that straightforward formula that Demio has right now that goes, you know, 1-2 boss. So they're saying, but they said the classes from D&D, the enemies from D&D, lore from D&D, spells from D&D. So it probably won't be a 1-to-1 D&D game, but it's going to be much closer to playing tabletop D&D. So I'm insanely pumped. Do I think the Deckard will bring big boost to PCVR? Big is relative. If it's at $1,200, it's a hard sell. That's expensive at $1,200. Remember, everyone bitched, oh, PlayStation VR 2, $550, and I need a $500 PlayStation after tax. We're at $1,100, $1,200. This is gonna be $1,200 then tax, and who the hell knows what's gonna go on with tariffs and shit lately. So, yeah, I don't know if it does as good as the Deckard. Yes, but it's more than twice the price. I'm sorry, I'm saying Deckard as the Steam Deck, but it's more than twice the price. UEVR injector plus Deckard controls will be awesome combo. I don't see the difference there, like why that'd make a big difference, but okay. Do you think the Deckard will have a wide range of third-party accessory support? What accessories would you love? I can't, see, most headsets I've put some sort of accessory on. Like, you use headphones for the Quest because the audio sucks. Or I do the same for the PlayStation VR 2. Use comfort mods for the PSVR 2 and the Quest because it sucks. My phone's ringing. Potential spam gets hung up on. Use comfort mods, audio mods, lens mods. But my index, I never used anything on my index. I know some people needed a back weight to make it, a little bit more back heavy for them, but I didn't. My index was always, perfect out of the box. So I really can't think of any accessories I need or want. And yes, Trevor, Demio is the best. Demio is fantastic. All right. Sorry, I think I wasn't clear about my Wanderer question. Delays, especially for harder platforms, is understandable. Why do you think PCVR, which would be easier, still no date? I'm sorry. I didn't know the PCVR date wasn't confirmed. If that's the case, I don't know. Maybe that's the platform they haven't nailed down yet. And if you're looking at where you're going to make the money from, yeah, PCVR is probably your smallest. I was just talking to a developer today. It was and I can't get into this story, but like when they were talking numbers, I wanted to cry. I mean, it's a joke, what some people make off of PCVR. And yeah, that is the platform that they could skimp on or delay the most because they're probably going to make the least amount of money there. So, going with the leaks for the Deckard, it's going to come with its own official first-party games and or demos. So apparently things have been made in-house by Valve. So I don't know if we'll get a big first-party release game like we did with the Index, like Half-Life Alyx. Maybe it'll come with a modified version of Half-Life Alyx for standalone. But it sounds like there's also going to be some new games, new demos with it. So hell effing yeah. Okay. There will be no game master and no role play. So I mean, role play is always optional. Role play is never mandatory, so you can role play as much as you want. The dungeon master is, the AI. So we'll see. The video's on their website, cool. Put it on your goddamn YouTube at the same time. Well, if you look at the Index wasn't a market shift either. The Index it was Valve saying, you can do this. Like, you can give people a solid VR experience. Let us show you a solid VR experience. Here is cool hardware. Here's cool software. The Index and Half-Life Alyx. And they said, listen, there's a ton of room for improvement on both sectors. But now it's your turn. We showed you it's possible. Now it's your turn. And I don't think many people really lived up to that. But we'll see what happens. All right. Maybe this is what Valve meant by 3 VR games in the works in 2019. Yeah. Well, Valve is funny because Valve will spend years on a project just to abandon it. Like, they'll spend years on a project and just be like, guys, this isn't going to be good. We don't think... Like, if you go to... they used to have a mixed reality department that they cut off, and they focused more on VR. And one of the main people from there moved on to Tilt 5, which is the mixed reality game board, which I haven't heard anything about in a while. But they moved on to that, and my voice is already starting to give out. But they moved on to that. But she talked about how at Valve years ago, they had a version of Team Fortress 2 where one person was looking down and they could view the game that's going on, like a battle of Team Fortress 2, and they could view it like it's a tabletop board game, and they can impact it. Like, they could throw ammo to someone that's on the board, or they could like move objects and kind of like, and she said it was amazing, but they just kiboshed it. Like, we're not doing mixed reality anymore. Okay. What you said about Valve is 100% valid about this is what you can do. This is a concern currently in the handheld space with Deck 2. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll really see what happens. Demio and D&D sounds awesome. Yeah. So I showed off my game board before. I showed off my game board, and I've been playing D&D. Actually, since I upgraded the game board, we haven't played in a while, but you could see right in the corner there's a Dungeon Master manual. Sadly, it's still the 2014 manual. You can see on the wall, I have a whole bunch of characters. You can't really see them too up close there, but yep. And you can't see out of frame, there's a projector that goes down on this board and shows off everything. But yeah, no, there's a lot to be excited for. A lot to be excited for. D&D VR is like enough to keep me happy for a while. Should Meta update their VR controllers? Maybe. I mean, they kind of created the current standard. Maybe Valve will change that. See, like, we didn't get a lot of hand Valve Index controller support because there were more people with controllers that didn't have that support or didn't have that capability, and it's not worth the time for developers to pursue it. It's nothing to do with lazy developers or anything like that. It really just comes down to time is money, And at the end of the day, I know these developers want to make the best game ever, but they also can't do it if they're poor. Like, they can't stay in business if they break even on their game. They got to make a profit. And you got to decide what corners to cut. And things like Valve Index controller support get cut. And I don't mean the controllers don't work at all. I just mean finger tracking stuff. All right, let's see. Is it still worth it to buy MetaQuest 3S as a person that doesn't have any VR? Jordan, I'd say yeah. I mean, the MetaQuest 3S is a fantastic entry into VR. And it works great with PCVR. You're not going to get anything close to that cheap anywhere else. And it has a ton of other functionality. Like, I've used my Quest to play old school MAME games. There's an application called Arcade Ranger. And all you got to do is take your ROMs and throw them on your headset, and it'll play them all. And you can even Bluetooth connect to an Xbox controller, or like the joystick that I showed off, you could Bluetooth connect to this joystick that I have there on the wall, the old school arcade joystick set. So, that's something unique you could do. You could watch all your Netflix shows. You can watch Hulu, Prime, whatever. It's a ton of capability. So, $300 is not throwaway money, but for this type of hardware, it's extremely cheap. If you've logged into Steam VR recently, there's been a nice bunch of updates. Oh, snap. I lost my chat screen. I'm going to reload the chat screen. Hey, we didn't drop a packet, though. My chat screen decided I'm going to up and commit suicide. But it's back. One click, and we haven't dropped a single frame or packet. Okay. Will there be Deckard exclusive titles? They would probably be PCVR exclusive games. Like, I don't see them, because if you look at Half-Life Alyx, they actually went out of their way to make sure Half-Life Alyx worked on other headsets, like the Quest when it released, like that it would work with any PCVR headset. So I think it's just going to be PCVR exclusive, not Deckard exclusive. So why would they do that? Remember, Valve is in the industry of selling video games. That's where their money comes from. That's why a product like Steam Deck is worth them pursuing, because it helps them sell more video games. So anything that helps them sell more video games is, the right route for them. They're not looking to make their money off building a new platform, off of, we're going to make first party games. That is a rough and terrible route to go down. You got to be a really big player for that stuff, and it's just not happening. No commercials this feed either. Honestly, I literally never touched those settings, and it was news to me when some guy said, hey, YouTube just ran some commercials. I honestly think that was because it was holiday season. YouTube goes crazy around December. Ad revenue goes through the roof, and they're probably like, oh, he's streaming? Commercial. I haven't touched those settings I'll look into them, but I have not touched the commercial settings in ever. Literally have never touched the commercial settings. So I don't know what they're set to. 100 plus for a VR headset seems like a commitment to stay niche. Yes. But every PCVR headset, gets priced around that, give or take. But I don't think they're looking for mainstream. I think they're looking for a way to, I think they're looking for a way to kind of replace a desktop PC, a Steam Deck, and get you to break in the VR at the same time. I think that's kind of more of their approach. It's, if you're, because you think about anyone who plays on PC, $1,000 is nothing to drop. A decent gaming PC plus a monitor, and a controller and stuff like that, $1,000 is not unreasonable. And now you're going to get that same PC experience in VR. You market it right to the right people, it makes sense. It might be worth picking up. I mean, what did they sell? 2 million of those AVPs, the Apple Vision Pros, and that thing was like almost $4,000. But the Apple people are also crazy. Apple people pay $500 for a stand. Also on point about selling games. In my biased opinion, we're all a little biased. It makes the most sense for them to sell a standalone Deckard, even if it's one of the versions that ships with the Steam OS to sell more. They tend to make the right decisions. Like that, I feel like Valve has been very smart. They're very in tune with the gamers. There was a great article that talked about when EA, I believe it was EA, tried to go up against Steam. More specifically, they tried to go up against the Steam platform. And they said they're like, well, we got more money. We'll just outmoney them and we'll be better and we'll win. And they just said we really weren't in touch with what gamers wanted and what they appreciate. And we're also up against a platform that, has consistently given people what they want. So people respect it and they're not ready to jump ship. And I think that, like, there's a lot of value in that because we're all sitting here going, oh shit, Valve's going to do something. It's going to be good. Like, we have faith in them. And then we didn't have that same faith in EA. They're trying to compete. Now we're like, no, I don't want to install another thing. You're forcing it on us. You're hiding games behind that platform. It was more annoying than anything else. You use DRM that we're not like super happy with. We've seen your greed. So they failed. And they spent a lot of money in that competition and they failed. So, the thing is, if you want to move people in a certain direction, the best method historically has always been give them an easy way to get what they want. And they'll buy in. And that's like, and I spoke to my friend years ago about the direction video games were going. And I said, I guarantee Microsoft is going to go down a subscription route. And this was like 10 years ago. I was talking to him. I was like, I guarantee in the future, Microsoft's going to go down a subscription route. If not, like lots of the competition goes down a subscription route. I spoke about how he's like, well, piracy, we got to stop piracy. Bigger penalties, bigger fines. No effing way. First off, it's really hard to track people. Second of all, you're gonna get just like one random kid who pirated a game. Like you're gonna make an example of them. So you're gonna ruin one kid's life. You're not gonna stop piracy by that way. The way to stop piracy is things like Steam sales. That's what stops piracy. People go, shit, I'm not spending $40 on this game, but I'll come back in 6 months when it's $10 and I'll pick it up. And that's how you like combat piracy. You give people an easier means to get what they want. Let's see. Surely a Deckard won't be powerful enough to play Half-Life Alyx standalone. Yeah, well, absolutely it can be. Like someone already said, you need a 1060. They've had 5 years to optimize the game. It already ran golden on a 2060. We're now looking at Zen 4 architecture. It's 100% possible. You know what? I'm going to put it at 200% possible because math doesn't matter. These days, nothing matters. We'll just make shit up. It's 1,000% possible. Unknown, what's up? I see a what's up or a hi every once in a channel. I try and, respond. Okay. What worries me is it's not the hardware. Software is not as profitable as companies want, and they drop out. Yes. The industry is crazy these days, guys. Our expectations became so high, and high expectations have also moved into every sector. The gamers' expectations are insane. And on top of that, the stockholders' expectations have become effing ridiculous. Like, I forget what version of Call of Duty it was, but it made like 500 million and stockholders were annoyed. They expected more and they wanted bigger returns. They want the stock price to go up higher. And there's diminishing returns. And the point, these games are at the point where they take 4 years to develop. They have staffs that are bigger than certain movies. You know, everything is professionally done, and people like don't appreciate it. I can't tell you how much they spent on Horizon Forbidden West. The numbers weren't like, we're up at like 250 million or something, maybe even more. Like, and then look at these games that they're just bombing, like Concord. Who knows what they spent on Avowed, but I can't see Avowed being profitable. There's like 9,000 people playing it. But Concord, let's just burn $200 million. There's been a couple projects like that. Oh, they did the Horizon. They put real money into Lego Horizon. Like, they put real money into that game. I don't know who made that decision, but they put real money into that game. I don't know what's going on. The bigger numbers, the better. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy. I know. You think the Deckard will have a Fresnel lens? If they have a Fresnel lens, I'm punting it. I mean, I'll still buy it, but I will be. Unless it's a Fresnel lens made by like NASA or some shit. The Fresnel lens in the Quest 3S is beyond acceptable. It's very good. It's a very good Fresnel lens. The best I've ever used. But F off. No more Fresnel, man. Pancake is solid. If you got Pancake with micro OLED, oof, that's a nice combination. You need some of these newer high-end panels, though. And this is where I could see the prices really, shooting up. And they say that they're selling $1,200 as a loss. You need a newer micro OLED panel because a lot of the OLED panels and even the micro OLED panels are high persistence. So you can't drive them too high. And by driving them too high, I mean you can't push a lot of power into them to make them too bright because then you get high persistence. And you combine this with a pancake lens. The pancake lens like blocks out like 80% of light. The way it works, it really diminishes the brightness of the screen. So you have two things that are fighting each other. And this is probably why the PlayStation VR 2 still had a Fresnel lens. Because if you would have paired that with a pancake lens, it would have been dim as fuck. So I'm sorry. It would have been dim as okay. Did I get it right? That's probably what would why they made that decision. But the screens are getting a lot better, and they're making screens specifically to be better for things like AR glasses, VR headsets. So if they got one of those bad boys in there, it'll be fantastic. Between Fresnel with more FOV or Pancake with less. Ooh. See, the problem is, if you think of something like Pimax, they went with these super wide FOV screens and they never worked right. There was too much warping at the end. There was too much distortion at the edges. It was never worth it. I've never tried a Pimax with a large FOV and felt it was remotely worth it. But Valve found a really good middle ground with the Index. Like, it's one of the largest FOVs with no distortion at the edges. And it was like 130 degrees, though. Those numbers are always up for debate. But the Index did a lot right. And I have a lot of faith here, man. I'm really excited. What are the aspherical lenses? So I am not super familiar with the technology. I cannot comment. Like, I know that's what Pimax was working on, and I even popped mine out when I had the Pimax Crystal. I know they were a glass lens that they made, and I don't know if they have to be glass. Theirs were glass. They were heavy as hell. Like, the lenses alone were like 140 grams. But I don't know how they work. I couldn't get into that. I'm sorry. I don't know at all. Can't bat 1,000. What else is going on, guys? What else? Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting micro OLED for sure. Oh yeah, the lenses were insanely heavy. The Pimax crystal, I think, was over a kilo. Like, I think it was like 1,100 grams. I put it on my scale. I'm just trying to remember what it was. Like 11 or 1,200 grams. It was absolutely effing insane. Okay. In my opinion, the tech sector is just throwing anything they can think of against the wall, hoping to find the next big thing. So, I feel like, I don't know if they're throwing anything they can. I feel like, Meta has been working really hard to like solve that question. But I think they told themselves VR, AR, mixed reality, XR is the next big thing. And we're going to control that platform. And they said, we're going to be the top player in the game. We're going to be ahead of the curve. We're going to do whatever it takes. That's why we renamed ourselves Meta. I don't know. I can't say for sure it'll pay off because I just feel like they spend all these billions pushing the technology. And then right behind them, someone just does the copycat. And they're like 6 months behind them, like Pico. And eventually, like, I feel like when those products are mainstream, people will want, like, they'll want those products for sure. Like, you see the Ray-Ban Metas are selling. They're selling really well. My neighbor, who knows not a goddamn thing about anything technology, got a pair for Christmas and he loves them. So the Ray-Ban Metas, are that like kind of like gateway, and that's what they want to focus on. More devices like that, but just get a screen and a form factor like that. And they should have Project Orion, which is, it takes like 10 grand to manufacture one of those right now. But that's the future device that they want like everyone to have. They want that to be the future mainstream device when they can get the price down. Give it like 10 years. But I mean, eventually someone's going to be like, yeah, I love this technology, but I don't want it from Meta. I want it from Apple. I want it from Samsung. I want it from whoever. And all those companies will be able to produce the product just as good. So I just feel like they're burning money to make this industry happen, but I don't think it's going to keep them on top. I don't know. I could be so wrong. Maybe they are so far ahead of somebody else that they just, like they're hiding all their secrets, but nothing stays secret these days. Do you think Valve should drop the grip buttons? Nah, keep them. I like them. I think people are too used to them. Like, not the index grip ones. Even though they always worked well for me, but I got kind of small hands. Oh, I somehow managed to shut off my auto tracking. Hey, whatever. We're not going to track anymore. I'm just going to sit right here zoomed into you guys. Let's see. Do you think if Deckard will be successful, more headsets will follow? Ooh, that would be cool to see a series of like Steam OS headsets drop. That would be cool. Maybe, it's tough because there's no one big enough to say, hey, we can undercut them. We can make the same headset for cheaper. So there's no one really big enough that can do that. And then, sure, there might be some other people like, you get Asus Republic of Gamers version that's $2,000 that has extra bells and whistles. But I don't know. This is kind of a niche market. Kind of like, there's not really been any big PCVR headset that people have like been like, hey, we have to copy off of. Looking back now, the name Meta change was the right call. Well, they had to change their name because Facebook was a dirty word. I can't tell you how many people are still clueless that Meta is Facebook and Facebook is Meta and Einhorn and Finkel is Finkel and Finkel is Einhorn. And the laces were in. Someone keep up, please. I mean, a grip button is simple. Like, this is one of the things that people don't understand. Better doesn't always sell. There's been many products in the past that were better objectively. Like a Betamax, had a better image quality. Or back in the day, it was HD DVD versus Blu-ray. HD DVD was just naming convention just made sense. And it really just came down to like codec and competing companies. Microsoft was supporting HD DVD, Sony was supporting Blu-ray, and then they just got like different media companies like, I don't know, MGM or whoever to choose sides. And eventually one side won, and that's what we got. But I was there for the early days of HD DVD, and I thought the quality was better than Blu-rays, at least back then. That's pretty much the same shit. So, well, actually, spherical lenses are supposed to be superior lenses versus Fresnel lenses because they don't have distortions. Well, I know they're supposed to be better than Fresnel, but I mean, dog shit's supposed to be better than Fresnel. Yeah, but okay, so let's see. Don't have distortions in the circle rings and wider FOV versus pancake, but they're heavier and larger, allegedly. The only one I know using them is Pimax, and I've never heard anything great. I think I talked to Bradley about them a little tiny bit, and Bradley was not feeling them. And sometimes I outsource my brain to him. I just go, Bradley, tell me what's the right answer and why. And I go, oh, shit, that makes sense. Thank you, youngster, for doing the work for me, because I'm losing brain capacity every day. Because, you know, Bradley could be my son. I actually know who could be my son. I met him, and we hung out for like a whole week. He was a really good dude. The Mystical is a good dude, and I hung out with him and his girlfriend in Amsterdam. We had a good time. Hung out with him and his girlfriend, and my wife was there too. So, you know, we had a lot of fun. Ty was there. I love Ty. Ty's my buddy. Tyrell Wood. But, which is not his real name, by the way. Shocker. But anyway, I hung out with them for a couple days, and the Mystical is really good. But literally, me and my wife were like, whenever we couldn't find Mystical and his girlfriend, we'd be like, where are our kids? Anyone see our kids? Where are our kids? Because that's what the age gap is. All right, see, I was at the character limit. I've never used them, so I can't say firsthand. Was trying to be, no, oh, dude, gamers generation. I'm just trying to bust balls, man. I didn't mean to tease you. I just wanted to do the Will Actually voice. I feel free to always enlighten and educate me in the chat. I don't know everything. I will never know everything. I'm always open to learning. If I think I see bullshit in the chat, I'll call it out. But I'm a very open-minded individual. Okay, simplify Unity software. So simplify Unity software so people won't struggle with multiple different runtimes, codecs, VDs versus Steam Link versus Airlink. I'm with you on that. Well, I mean, on a good note, Steam said everything goes to OpenXR. Don't use the old Steam API, the Steam VR API. So everything goes to OpenXR, which is nice for the industry. The Unreal Engine needs some updates because I've heard some people, especially for mixed reality, I've heard people like say that you can't, in development mode, when you're working on a project, you can't like demo a mixed reality project that you're working on. You actually have to compile it, copy it over, and then run it. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, it sucks to be a developer if that's really true. Now, I've just heard that. Maybe it's changed, but that would suck. That would add so much wasted time. Beat Saber on PlayStation VR 2 is really satisfying with haptic feedback. That's kind of random, but I'm sure it is. Beat Saber's great. Yeah, we talked about the Alien 3 patch. It was a 5 gigabyte patch. I haven't checked it out yet. Ty Wood, I think I would listen to that dude read the dictionary. That dude has the most relaxing and chipper voice. He's very chill in real life. For anyone I've ever listened to, he's very chill in real life. He's really nice. His wife is even cooler. His wife is a sweetheart. But no, he's super chill, and we just get along. Like, I look at him and I'm like, okay, you're an old Italian guy, or at least you're becoming an old Italian guy, because he'll talk about the way things used to be. It's not like it used to be. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but you gotta evolve or die, brother. But you know, the Italians, and you know, I'm Italian, but I'm American Italian, so it's different. there's a lot of things we share in common, but obviously a lot of things are different. At the same time, like, I could see the customs and a lot of things are the same, but the Italians are an older generation. Like, the people are literally older there. They have a much older population base. And, they kind of like get stuck in their ways and they're a little bit slower. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I spent 2 weeks in Italy and it was absolutely fabulous. That was last year. That was absolutely, fantastic. And that's the first time I met Ty. He came down and hung out with me for a day. But, shit, man, it is just funny because he's just becoming an old Italian guy and I love it. So what else is going on as I wind down the stream, guys? This is when I give the thank yous. This is where I give a little stretch and I give the thank yous. I just want to say thank you guys to everyone here and hanging out, because first off, this is the first stream we've had in months where it didn't explode because I got rid of my old Xfinity provider who sucked balls. And now I have 5 gig up and 5 gig down, and life is good, and there's no jitter or latency, and it's amazing. Life is fantastic. But better than that is you guys, because you're here supporting me, doing what I'm doing, and I always wanted a job in the VR gaming industry. And I never thought it was practical. I always wanted a family. I always wanted security. And those are not things you get in the VR or at least gaming industry in general. Like, one of my buddies, he's worked for EA for years. He used to work for, oh my God, who made Turok years ago? That's where he started. I can't even remember the name of the company. Acclaim. He started at Acclaim. He used to drive like 90 minutes every day just to get to his job because he wanted to work in the gaming industry. And I was just like, I can't do it. I'm using Frontier Fiber now. So like, I worked in IT for 20 years and I was doing this on the side for the last 3 years of my IT job. And this blew up to the point where I was able to actually, do this full time and make a living and not feel like someone who's ruining his family's life by overworking. And, I make enough money to put food on the table and keep them safe and everything like that. It also gives me a lot more freedom. So this has been amazing for me. And it's only possible because of people like you. The people who come here, the people who hang out, the people who support my channel. Those who donate are absolutely fantastic, but don't feel any pressure. I always feel weird when people donate. I never understand it, but I do, sincerely appreciate it. But this has been a dream come true. So thank you guys very much. I'm going to drop this link in the chat that I always drop. That is my document of affiliate links and sales. Some of them are affiliate links, some aren't. If you guys are looking for new games, new hardware, I try and update it as much as possible. You click those links, you get a deal, I get a deal. Life is good. Everyone should be happy. I'm always trying to, kind of give back or get something that benefits everyone. I'm not one of these people that's here because I want to make money. I'm here because I love the industry. I believe in the industry, and I'm just amazed that I get to do this and actually make some money doing it. So yeah, that's what I'm throwing out to you guys. I just saw a comment that said, "Are you doing his wife?" I don't know what I missed, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one doing my wife, and I'm very happy about that. So let's. Oh, was that like really delayed about Ty's wife? That would be weird. I got accused of looking at her legs because when they showed up to my place when I was staying in Italy, I had my Ray-Ban Metas on and I was recording and I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And I was on a step because there was a couple stairs going down to where they parked. So I shook her hand and then like I kind of just turned my head like this and walked up and then turned around and walked up the stairs. And everyone's like, "You checked out her legs in that video." And I'm like, one, I would admit it if I checked out her legs. Two, fuck off, I didn't. Yeah, but we really got sidetracked there. I have not jumped into Orion. I have not jumped into Orion Drift. I want to. I know it's not my style, but this is one thing that I've really gravitated towards on this channel before I say my goodbyes. I want to appreciate everything that's well done. You know, if a game is objectively shitty, like has bugs, shitty graphics, whatever the case may be, fine. I will totally shit on it. I will totally tell you guys. But if a game is not my style, but I could see the merits in it, I could see why, I could see the appeal, I will support it. I will tell you, listen, it's not my game. It's hard for me to really tell you, you know, it's amazing because I don't relate to it, but I could see the appeal. I could see, you know, the social aspect, or I could see how the gameplay loop is addictive to some people, or I know people find this type of gameplay loop addictive. So I'm trying to lean more into that and rather just be like, hey, my opinion is the only one that matters. No, my opinion is just another drop in the bucket. Who gives a shit? Some of you guys respect me. Some of you guys share a similar opinion or disposition as me, which is great. Cool. We're buddies. But it's never going to match the majority. Okay? Well, majority. Maybe it hits the majority. It's never going to match everybody. Drew, what's up, bro? I just ended up the stream. We were talking about my leg fetish, which is not a thing. If anything, I'm a butt guy. We go butt first. A nice pair of legs is a nice pair of legs, but I've never been like, yo, check out the legs on her. Yeah. I mean, maybe I have. I don't know. But I'm not a leg guy. Butt first. Yeah, Drew, there was a lot going on. Gamers Generation, thank you, dude. Thank you. You know, people have tried to in the past say, you know, like, or accuse me of being fake or not keeping it real or just saying things for, you know, I shill for Meta, I shill for whoever. I let you guys know how I feel. Like, yeah, sure. You know, I work with Meta, you know, these days. Pretty much every VR content creator does. When they do something stupid, I'll still tell you. I will absolutely tell you. When Valve does something awesome, I'll tell you. When Sony does something stupid or great, I'll tell you guys. Like, I've shit on Sony a bunch of times, but that's just because they got me really excited about high-end VR. They teased us, and then they kind of just said, whatever. So, buy a Quest 3 now or wait for Deckard. Deckard's going to be $1,200, so most likely. So, if you really want to get into VR, buy one. I'm not going to tell you no. It's your money. You know, $300 is still a big ass for some people. $1,200 is a pretty insane ass for a lot of people. So, you know, I can't tell you how to spend your money. I can just tell you what I like, what I think is good, what I think is worth it. I think the value is there. The Meta Quest 3S for $300, the value is definitely there. Will it be a product you use a lot and you love? That's 50-50. I don't know your brain, dude. So, but anyway, guys, Streamlab just dropped my link again. So if you're looking for games, discounts, blah, blah, blah. If you guys ever have any feedback, I'm always open to feedback. I love hearing it. If you want more things added on that list, like if there's games I'm missing or something or more hardware, let me know. And I do this stream every week and I'm going to keep updating it and making it more awesome. So like, you know, we'll bring the effects back. We'll bring the overlays back. I'll bring the extra cameras back. Just give me a little time because I'm slow. I'm old. It's as fast as I move. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'm just trying to see if there was anything I missed. I'm helping develop a game anyway. Could you give me any, I could give you early access codes for feedback. Hit me up. My email is available. Just hit me up. I'll let you know. My time is very limited. Thank you guys for hanging out today. I really enjoyed it. You guys were awesome. We're going to go to the end screen because it's cool and you guys are going to watch it and go watch my All On Board video if you didn't check it out today. All On Board's available. It's a sweet board game simulator. If you're into board games, I highly recommend you check it out. Definitely not for everybody, but if you're into board games, definitely check it out. It's very solid. All right, peace out, everybody. I will see you guys next week. There's a video coming either tomorrow or Saturday about all the awesome games released in March, and it's going to be an exciting one. So boom. And that was today's stream, guys. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be here without you. You guys mean the world to me. I hope I did a good job answering all of your questions. And if you want to help support me, the easiest ways are always to leave a comment, throw a thumbs up, subscribe, or if you're one of those crazy people who likes to burn money on me, why not use one of my affiliate links for a discount on some accessories? Maybe become a Patreon or YouTube member. And finally, I have a merch shop with items that no one has ever bought before. Again, thanks for hanging out, guys, and of course, I'll see you on next time. And that was today's stream, guys. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be here without you. You guys mean the world to me. I hope I did a good job answering all of your questions. And if you want to help support me, the easiest ways are always to leave a comment, throw a thumbs up, subscribe, or if you're one of those crazy people who likes to burn money on me, why not use one of my affiliate links for a discount on some accessories? Maybe become a Patreon or YouTube member. And finally, I have a merch shop with items that no one has ever bought before. Again, thanks for hanging out, guys, and of course, I'll see you on next time.